Arthritis, a condition affecting millions worldwide, causes joint pain and inflammation. Research suggests that certain foods may contribute to inflammation, potentially aggravating arthritis symptoms. In this comprehensive guide, we'll discuss 7 types of foods that could potentially worsen arthritis and explore healthier alternatives. Make sure to watch to the end for a particular food that might surprise you. But before we begin, it's crucial to emphasize that individual responses to foods can vary. Always consult a healthcare professional for personalized guidance. First on our list is sugar. Studies indicate that excessive sugar intake might trigger inflammation, exacerbating arthritis symptoms. Sodas, energy drinks, candies, and pastries are loaded with refined sugars, which can lead to increased inflammation in the body. Let's delve deeper into the effects of sugar on arthritis and inflammation. Research suggests that excessive sugar intake can contribute to inflammation in the body, potentially exacerbating arthritis symptoms. When we consume foods high in refined sugars, our bodies undergo a series of reactions. These sugars cause a rapid spike in blood sugar levels, leading to the release of pro-inflammatory substances. This cascade of events triggers the body's immune response, resulting in increased inflammation. To mitigate the inflammatory effects of sugar on arthritis, consider making mindful dietary choices. Instead of indulging in sugary snacks and beverages, opt for natural sweeteners like honey, maple syrup, or dates. Whole fruits, abundant in vitamins, minerals, and fiber, offer a sweet fix without the detrimental impact of added sugars. Consuming fruits in their natural form not only satisfies your sweet cravings, but also provides essential nutrients that support overall joint health. While sugar consumption's direct link to arthritis isn't fully understood, its role in triggering inflammation within the body is well documented. By reducing intake of refined sugars and opting for healthier alternatives, individuals with arthritis can potentially manage inflammation and alleviate some symptoms. Next up is saturated fats found in red meat and full-fat dairy products. Research suggests that diets high in saturated fats may contribute to inflammation, potentially worsening arthritis symptoms. Now let's dive deeper into the effects of saturated fats on arthritis and inflammation. Research indicates that diets high in saturated fats, commonly found in red meat and full-fat dairy products, may play a role in promoting inflammation in the body. Saturated fats trigger inflammation by stimulating immune cells to produce inflammatory compounds called cytokines. These compounds are signaling molecules that provoke an immune response, potentially exacerbating arthritis symptoms by contributing to joint inflammation and pain. Moreover, excessive consumption of saturated fats can lead to an imbalance in the body's fatty acid composition. This imbalance interferes with the body's natural anti-inflammatory mechanisms, further amplifying the inflammatory response and potentially worsening arthritis. To mitigate the inflammatory effects of saturated fats on arthritis, consider making dietary changes that prioritize healthier fat sources. Incorporating sources of unsaturated fats like plant-based options such as beans, avocados, nuts, seeds, and healthier protein sources like fatty fish such as salmon or mackerel into your diet can provide essential omega-3 fatty acids. These healthy fats possess anti-inflammatory properties that may help alleviate arthritis symptoms by reducing inflammation within the body. Next, let's discuss processed and refined foods. Items like white bread, cookies, pastries, and processed snacks often contain refined grains and unhealthy fats, which can promote inflammation in the body. Exploring the potential link between refined foods and arthritis involves examining the intricate relationship between diet and joint health. While the direct causation remains a subject of ongoing research, some evidence and theories propose that certain dietary factors, including refined foods, might contribute to the development or worsening of arthritis. Refined foods, known for their processing that often strips away valuable nutrients and fiber, could indirectly affect arthritis by influencing factors associated with inflammation. Though not conclusively proven, the consumption of highly processed, nutrient-depleted foods possibly contributes to systemic inflammation, a factor implicated in various chronic conditions, including arthritis. The refined nature of these foods, particularly refined grains and added sugars commonly found in processed snacks, could potentially trigger inflammatory responses in the body. This chronic low-grade inflammation may, over time, impact joint health and exacerbate arthritis symptoms. To mitigate potential risks associated with refined foods and their hypothetical impact on arthritis, adopting a dietary approach focused on whole, unprocessed foods becomes crucial. Whole foods, such as fruits, vegetables, whole grains like quinoa, brown rice, lean proteins, and healthy fats, offer a spectrum of essential nutrients, antioxidants, and anti-inflammatory properties. Choosing these nutrient-dense options over highly processed foods may support joint health and potentially mitigate inflammation associated with arthritis. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more valuable content like this. Up next is alcohol intake, especially in excess, which can aggravate inflammation, potentially worsening arthritis symptoms. Understanding the potential connection between alcohol consumption and arthritis involves exploring how this substance might influence joint health. While direct causation remains under investigation, there are recognized ways in which alcohol intake may affect joint health and contribute to certain types of arthritis, particularly gout. Alcohol consumption, especially in excessive amounts, can lead to elevated levels of uric acid in the bloodstream. Increased uric acid can crystallize in the joints, particularly in the case of gout, leading to inflammation, pain, and swelling. Moreover, excessive alcohol consumption may impair the body's ability to excrete uric acid efficiently, further elevating the risk of crystallization in the joints, potentially exacerbating arthritis symptoms. To potentially mitigate the impact of alcohol on arthritis, moderation in alcohol consumption becomes imperative. Choosing to limit alcohol intake and prioritizing hydration with water or other non-alcoholic beverages may support overall joint health. A balanced lifestyle that includes regular exercise, a healthy diet, and maintaining a healthy weight also plays a vital role in managing arthritis and supporting joint health. Next, let's talk about fried foods high in trans fats. These items, such as fast food, fried snacks, and margarine, contain trans fats that can trigger inflammation in the body. Examining the potential link between trans fats and arthritis involves understanding how these fats may influence inflammation and joint health. Although the direct causative role is not firmly established, emerging evidence suggests that trans fats might contribute to inflammation in the body, potentially affecting joint health and aggravating arthritis symptoms. Trans fats, predominantly found in processed and fried foods, are artificially created fats produced through hydrogenation. Consumption of these fats has been associated with increased levels of inflammatory markers in the body, potentially promoting inflammation, a factor linked to various chronic conditions, including arthritis. Furthermore, trans fats may interfere with the body's natural anti-inflammatory processes, disrupting the balance of essential fatty acids and triggering an inflammatory response that could potentially impact joint health. To potentially mitigate the impact of trans fats on arthritis, adopting dietary changes that prioritize healthier fat sources becomes crucial. Choose healthier cooking methods like baking, grilling, or steaming, and opt for healthier fats like olive oil or avocado oils are much better choices. This switch can significantly reduce trans fat intake and promote better joint health. Next up is salt. Excessive salt intake can lead to water retention, potentially worsening joint inflammation in individuals with arthritis. Exploring the potential relationship between salt intake and arthritis involves understanding how excessive salt consumption might influence joint health. While salt is not a direct cause of arthritis, there's evidence suggesting that high salt intake may contribute to inflammation, potentially affecting joint health and exacerbating arthritis symptoms, particularly those with certain types of arthritis, like rheumatoid arthritis. High salt consumption can lead to water retention and increased sodium levels in the body. This excess sodium may trigger an immune response, potentially leading to inflammation and fluid retention in the joints, which could worsen arthritis symptoms such as pain and swelling. In addition, some research suggests that a high-sodium diet might interfere with the body's ability to maintain a proper balance of calcium, potentially affecting bone health. In individuals with arthritis, this imbalance might exacerbate joint issues. To potentially mitigate the impact of excessive salt intake on arthritis, moderation in salt consumption and choosing healthier seasoning alternatives becomes pivotal. Opting for herbs, spices, or lemon juice and natural flavor enhancers instead of relying heavily on salt may help in reducing sodium intake while adding taste and variety to meals. This adjustment can potentially aid in managing fluid retention and inflammation associated with arthritis. Lastly, and certainly not least, let's explore nightshade vegetables like tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, and potatoes. Some individuals with arthritis report increased joint pain after consuming these veggies due to a major compound called solanine. Exploring the potential link between nightshade vegetables and arthritis involves understanding how these vegetables, containing certain compounds like alkaloids, which include solanine, nicotine, and capsaicin, might influence joint health. While the direct causation remains debated and varies among individuals, some evidence suggests that nightshade vegetables might trigger arthritis symptoms in certain susceptible individuals. These compounds might interfere with specific enzymes, affecting joint health and potentially contributing to inflammation and achy joints. Individuals with certain types of arthritis or autoimmune conditions like rheumatoid arthritis should try and avoid eating nightshade vegetables, assuming that these alkaloids might trigger an immune response, potentially worsening inflammation in the joints and leading to increased pain and discomfort. For individuals who suspect a sensitivity to nightshade vegetables, adopting dietary changes might be considered to potentially alleviate arthritis symptoms. Substituting nightshade vegetables with non-nightshade alternatives, such as leafy greens, mushrooms, sweet potatoes, and cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, and cabbage, to name a few, and other nutrient-rich options, will provide variety while potentially reducing the risk of aggravating arthritis symptoms in susceptible individuals. While more research is needed, if you experience heightened arthritis symptoms after consuming nightshade vegetables, consider reducing their intake and observe your body's response. In summary, while these 7 foods might impact arthritis for some individuals, maintaining a balanced diet is crucial. Remember, what works for one person may not work for another. Always seek guidance from healthcare professionals for personalized dietary recommendations. Thank you for tuning in. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more valuable content.